Welcome back. Is Joe in or is Joe out? Are the knives out? What's going on? Why would the knives be out? These are two kingmakers here. You know, Barack and Nancy. So, Lady Winebox and Mr. Magic. What's going to happen, folks? So we're going to start here. You know, as we've all been seeing in recent days, last couple weeks, the calls for Joe to step down are getting louder and louder, you know. So let me just start by first and foremost saying nothing in the Democrat Party happens by chance. Absolutely nothing. Everything they do, everything is coordinated. It is used by think tanks. They have research, analysts, data, psychologists, the whole nine yards, all of them. They go in and they figure this stuff out, and then they form a plan, and they tell all of their proxies, and they implement it. There's nothing going on here that is just randomly happening. All of this, the whole thing, is completely and totally, put together and pre-thought. Okay. So, and I know this is a rare kind of daytime one here on PrepperNow. Sorry, I had date night last night with my wife, and so it wouldn't have worked for a live stream. We had a absolute wonderful time. We took our dogs for a nice long walk on this beautiful trail, and then we had dinner, and we watched some music, and yeah. So my apologies for a strange and different timed one, but I've got a busy weekend of my side hustles, so it's either now or never, and I might even do another one in the afternoon to make up, but my apologies, and I appreciate you being here. So I want to talk about all this stuff going on because I don't think people realize a couple of things, okay? Now, I call this Are You Ready? Because it's going to get chaotic, okay? The whole thing is going to get chaotic, all right? And we're going to get you there. But I want to take you through it first. First of all, the chaos is planned, all right? Don't think for one instance that any of this is organic. So Obama and Pelosi are supposedly, on the front, out in front. Oh, we love Joe. Joe is great. We don't want him to go. But in the background, there's conversations, right? So, everybody is concerned. He supposedly had this press conference last night that was going to, make him, do good job for him and all that. And it honestly didn't work. He had some major flubs. He called VP Harris Vice President Trump. And there's some other things that you're all going to see get pushed around. I've actually already done the crisis report for the day. That's actually tabulated and loaded. And we're going to go directly into the crisis report after, just to kind of get some new blood over there. We are growing again because we figured out some things, so appreciate you. But Joe, he's never been as smooth as Barack. He wears his heart on his sleeve sometimes. He can kind of come off as angry grandpa, but right now the real big problem with Joe is that he can't really just speak in public anymore. He would have a gaffe. He would say something wrong, I mean, I come here and I talk for long amounts of time, but gaffes and screw-ups are very few and far between when I'm mentioning names and all that. And when you get up into your 80s, these things start to happen. It's just inevitable. Your brain is not working at the capacity that your brain used to work. I see this in my own father and my own mother. My mother especially. My dad's pretty sharp as a whip. My mother can mess stuff up. She'll mess names up. That's the main thing. She knows where she is. She knows what she's doing and all that, but she'll screw a name up. She'll just say it wrong, or she'll mix it up with someone else. It's just a natural thing. And she'll correct herself, or we'll correct her, or sometimes she'll repeat a story from time to time. She's freaking 80 years old. What do you expect? We're just happy to have her around. So Psaki says the entire Joe White House is in complete and total disarray. Literally, nobody knows what to expect. The question is what the plan moving forward is. 99% of them don't know the answer to that question. So Jim Himes is a very high-level Democrat, and as someone I read a comment, and he basically said, it's time for Joe to step down. If Jim Himes is saying this, that means it is establishment doctrine, okay? Because he is as establishment as possible. So I think the move was to come in here and to start to make all these people and make this, air quotes, growing consensus to make Joe step aside. Now, I don't know particularly if Joe is in on all this or if he is just riding along, hoping to God he can stay in the race. He really wants to, but it's becoming abundantly clear that he can't do this for too much longer. He's just at a point now where, he every time he takes the mic, it doesn't work out for him anymore. He can't, excuse me, every time I turn my headphones on, it's like the phlegm gems start rolling up the throat. Every time, he gets on the mic, he has a gaffe. So this currently are the betting markets, okay, of who's going to be the Democratic nominee, all right? And they've been changing. They've been getting, Kamala wasn't even in the same room as all of this. Now, they've got Hillary Clinton at 1%. Honestly, I think of all of them, Hillary Clinton is the most probable. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. I've stated my point. I put that out on X. A couple weeks ago, I said, get ready for Hillary. I really do think she is. There's other people that are starting to say this. One of the delegates is her husband, from what I understand. So she might be able to come in and do a little something during the nominee process of the Democratic National Convention. Okay, so keep an eye on this. But this right here is what the current betting markets are. And if you really want to know what's going on, the betting markets are what to look at because they are the true sentiment. This is not polling. This is just human nature right here, okay? So right now, Joe's got a bit of an edge. Kamala's, close. She's within striking distance, but still a little bit of a gap, right? So we all saw this thing, we had the two pressers yesterday by Joe, okay? You had the NATO one, and then you had the primetime 6:30, okay? Now, I didn't watch either one. I don't watch this stuff. I'm more into analysis. I like to go in and watch the clips and yada, 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 but I don't sit there, and I don't have the time, to be honest with you, to sit there and watch hour-long press conferences. I'd rather just watch the clips. If something crazy does go on, I'll go back and I'll watch the whole thing in review. But Joe didn't have a good day on the mic. He introduced Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as Vladimir Putin. That probably was not too well received by anyone. And then, he was at his press conference 50 minutes late. He's coughing, slurring, and then he called Donald Trump his vice president as he attempted to show that he is he's a worthy opponent for Orange Man Bad. Okay, and this is why the Democratic establishment is really freaked out because now the specter of a Trump video is, or a presidency is coming. Hey, what's going on, Atal? Good to see you. Thanks, folks. As always, if you're here, hit that like button and do all the things to help me promote out and everything. We are growing. We're almost to 30,000 subscribers, and I got some plans. It was big talk with my wife last night with everything. My plan is for the long term with PrepperNow to turn this into something that is with me for the rest of my life. And so, for those that are on the ground floor here, we do have plans going forward, like any intelligent person trying to run a bit of a business, and that's what this is becoming. I appreciate you being here and being, sticking with me and all that. And basically, I don't plan on going anywhere, even if crazy things happen. So, because I think this stuff is important. I care about the country. I care about my kids' future, right? And right now, this guy in front of you is the leader, but he's not the leader. Let's be honest. The real people running the show are his, group of swamp things that are in the background, right? All right. So I don't know if you've seen this video. This is Austin and Blinken and Sullivan. Right when he said it, you don't have to listen to what they say, but during this, I think it's 10 seconds. Just watch their eyes, okay?
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be Vice President.
Oh my God, this friggin' guy.
So let's start there.
Ugh.
Number one, the fact is that
you see that? Blinken is like, oh God, moves his eyes. Austin is like, do I move? What do I do? And then, of course, Sullivan looks down, grabs his chin, and he's like, this guy, he's gone. So, the debate is where all this started. The debate is where things began 2 weeks ago, when basically Trump trashed him, and the thing is that Trump really could have been a lot more aggressive. I honestly think that Trump was pretty reserved and played it very well. I really do. I think he played it very well. He could have really been mean and done, some of his typical orange man bad stuff, but he didn't do that. He was very controlled, and he struck when he needed to strike, and he laid off when he needed to lay off. So, of course, that's been, at first it came out he was under the weather, and then it came out, he might have Rona, and then it came out that, his debating style wasn't honed enough, and, then he said, it was my fault, and then he said, it's my staff, and all that. Now they're, committees are looking into his aides and seeing if they're actually running the show, and it's this like protective buffer of people. I mean, for lack of a better way of putting it, all hell is breaking loose in this guy's candidacy. And I honestly don't know. I am leaning towards he will step down and he will step aside, and it'll happen at the convention. And main story is, I think they're going to do this on purpose, because they're going to be like, oh, well, do you see, we care about democracy, we care about all this. Even in when we have a candidate that is not up to snuff, we go in and we fix it. That's the Democrat Party. We're here to solve all your problems, and we are going to make it so you have a nice and functional country, even though right now nobody feels we have a nice and functional country. And why is that? Well, it has nothing to do with who these people are or what they are. What's really going on is people are getting crushed financially, okay? Really, really crushed. We were actually surprised, my wife and I, last night. We went out and had, because we don't drink, my wife every once in a while will have a glass of wine. I definitely don't drink. We had an appetizer and 2 sandwiches between the two of us, and it was under $40 with upgrades and everything else. I mean, we were surprised. I expected at least $50 to $60 in price. This place was very affordable. The food was good. We're not talking Michelin rated or anything, but it was very surreal to see because it kind of gave us a window into what used to be when you would go out for dinner. And the only time my wife and I go out for dinner now is just for a date night. We had a wonderful time. So the producer prices are surging again. Okay, this is something that and this is the economists. These are all the people that come out and say, hey, this is going on, that's going on. We expect this, we expect that. And a lot of times the numbers are controlled, So in May, it was month-on-month deflationary. So it kind of went down. See this little blip down there. But it's going back up. And I don't know about you, I am noticing prices rising again. Okay? And that's a problem because, part of the things that my wife and I talked about last night were budgetary. We're getting ready to pay off our shed. We're getting ready to, I just paid off my computer that you see here because it was an expense because I needed a really good computer for PrepperNow, right? So it wasn't just I dropped some money on this thing because it is a very good computer and it's going to last for a while. So, my main computer I've had, for 6 years, and the one before that one for 12 years. So you get the point. Deflationary? No. Inflationary? Yes. So highest PPI since March 2023, okay? And you see this green area right over here. Yes, this is the financials. This is boring. This makes your eyes water. But let me translate to what all of this means. These are the producers. These are the people that produce the materials and the things that go into the things that you buy. Okay, so it's not the things that you buy; it's the things that go in to the things that you buy, and also like services. Okay, they're saying energy remains deflationary. That is an absolute lie. Our energy costs have gone up. You mentioned me reference the other day. My homeboy Frank in the background, he said his energy went up from $275 a month to $400. Okay, that is going on across the board. If your energy has gone up in the last 4 years, we'll say to 2020 when it was at a low, please put a 1 in the comments. Mine has gone up. My wife actually made mention in June. She said, "Wow, look at this. We've never paid that much in June," and it had gone up about $100 on the month. So if you are experiencing energy prices rising, put a 1 in. If things are pretty much standing pat or even getting lower, put a 2 in. And I hope they are. I really do. I want all this to go away. I'm taking no pleasure in any of these conversations that we're having here. So, as you can see, things are rising. Of course, things got really haywire during Rona. June rise in index, final demand, 0.6% increase in prices. All of this is higher. It's much worse. Okay, now you look at these charts and they make your eyes water and you're like, all right, what is that? I see some squiggles and crap. Doesn't really mean anything to you. Well, all of this is like things that will translate into that extra $100 a month on your energy. Okay? And as it says right here, the problem is that it's accelerating. It's getting worse. It's going out of control. So why is it that people are very unhappy with Joe? It's because of things like this. The translation is into our food costs, our energy costs, and everything else. And it's leading to a Trump return. Okay? Now, I don't know about you. I haven't gone into the poly market and tried to figure out. Maybe I can do that real quick. Hold on real quick. Let me just make sure I do this right. I want to show the betting markets on. Here we go. Here's the. All right, so right here. Boom. There's your presidential election winner right there. Trump is 60%. Kamala is 16%, actually over Joe at 14%. Look at that. Kennedy is in there. Hillary's not even in there, but you mark my words. You get ready for Hillary. I still think, but we'll see. I'm wrong sometimes. So yeah, why is that? Why is Trump going to win? It's because your prices are going out of control, folks. Every time you turn around and you hear about something going up. Costco came out yesterday and said that they're raising up all of their membership prices. Everything is going up. It's all going up, 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 up. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to get crazy here, folks, okay? And that's what I really want you to be ready for and what we're bringing this all around for. We're getting ready for chaos, okay? And as he says here, it's going to be blamed on all of us. Just like they say, oh, it's those crazy preppers that, are you got to watch out for. Everybody knows that preppers are probably some of the smartest people on the planet, and they're the ones that actually help out in situations. There's nothing that we're doing that is illegal or evil. Actually, people prep because we see problems on the horizon, and we don't want to wait for them to unfold and react to them. We want to be proactive and not reactive. So we buy food, we buy materials, we buy tools, we buy, we put our energy into skills. We set up our homesteads or homes or apartments or whatever into a way that it can function in a long emergency, right? That's what we do because we're thinking ahead. Well, this is Brandon Smith. Brandon Smith is one of my favorites. He's a great writer. Definitely tinges on the doom. But he said there's the potential for shock events, such as Biden stepping down last minute, Trump being arrested but winning anyway, major geopolitical crisis, which is used by the Magic Democrats to postpone the election or something like that. There's still a lot of people that think that the election is going to be postponed. I personally don't think so. What I see happening is the election happening, going on, and then we going into lawfare, and it gets settled in the courts, and the question is, will that happen before the inauguration in January of 2025, or will we have this interregnum period, a time between two kings, where everything is chaotic? And I think we'll have that. I do believe in chaos. That's my chaotic situation, scenario, belief. My belief is that whoever it is for the Democrats will take on Trump. They'll go in. It'll be very close. And they will bring in the lawyers, and the lawyers will go to town, and the whole thing will go sideways. And it'll become this big lawyer fest. And everything will be decided in the courts, and they'll have all these people. I know that there's a guy on the Democrat side who I'm sure you've never heard of, but this is their leading dude when it comes to this. His name is Norm Eisen, and he is the guy that basically, in the background, crafts all of their lawfare. Okay? Now, he is one of many, but he is a name that is always out there when this is going on. And it's because he's very smart, he's very good at what he does, and he knows how to work the courts and the system to the Democrats' benefit. So as it says here, the question is, what does this mean for, people on the right side of the political sphere? Now remember, you are far right if you believe in a functioning immigration system. You are far right if you believe in a functioning criminal justice system. You are far right if you believe in a society that has law and order. And you are far right if you believe in the Constitution and the core tenets of our country. Okay, never forget that. You are the crazy person for wanting to have a safe home, a safe country, and a safe life. Okay? That's crazy. So the question is, what will remain of the conservatives and patriots going forward as this causes elation, or should Americans be ready for the rug to be pulled out from underneath them? I, of course, think that you should be ready for all of this. So he said, you remember 2016, he's set up to be the next Herbert Hoover. He's the scapegoat. They're expecting major economic crashes. And, of course, they're already doing this. I read a thing today where a bunch of economists came out and said that inflation and all the pricing and everything is going to be worse under Trump. Now, you and I lived under Trump, and at that time, things were very different. There were different picks in his cabinet. There were different things going on. Rona really fleshed itself out in 2020. So that, of course, did have a big effect on inflation. And the reason why is because of money printing and stimulus and all that. So they're setting it up for another one of these where all this is going to get super crazy. And, Krugman, I remember in 2016, said that the market was going to crash. 2018 to 2020, before the Rona, was probably one of the best economic times ever. I was an inadvertent landlord. I had a home that I could not sell. I actually had to rent it out to people. I lost money on it every month. I had to keep up with all the maintenance and be a normal landlord and all that. And in 2017-18, we sold it finally. Took a loss, but I would have rather taken the loss and had this burden off my shoulders than sit there and wonder day to day what's going to happen with this thing. So I don't know about you, but I remember the presidency of Trump financially being a pretty darn good time for the country. But of course, they're saying, no, that's not going to happen. And we're all going to crash and the inflation's going to go up. So as Brandon says here, Trump had some really terrible picks for his cabinet. I would agree with that. You have the entire media out there stoking the flames of disdain and pain and all that kind of stuff, doing whatever they can. By the way, if you are here, please hit that like button. When you follow this broadcast, in the link in the description, there's another channel where I do a full-on news, where I take you through everything. It is the most comprehensive news that you will see on YouTube for 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to directly do this right after, okay? Go in the description. It's called The Crisis Report. It is youtube.com/@Crisis Report, all one. Go on over there and get ready for that live stream, which will be following directly after. So all this is going on. I mean, now not just what's happening with the picks and everything, but when Trump was in there, you had all of the riots. Remember St. Floyd? Remember all of the downtown craziness? We're sitting there. Rona unfolds. The market crashes. The housing market goes south, and all of this really crazy stuff starts to happen. And everybody felt like the world was kind of ending. I remember in the summer of 2020 going out and buying preps and prepping in a way that I had never done before. I started as a hurricane prepper. I got a little bit more intense in the mid-2010s because I was worried about North Korea and an EMP. And then, Orange Man Bad gets in, preps are on the side, and then Rona and everything else happens, and we go out and we start buying all of the things. So they're expecting a crash. If Trump does get in, I don't see it. I think he'll be lawfared out. If Trump gets in, the markets will possibly crash because they have been stuck together with glue, duct tape, and spit for so long. There's really not much left. Maybe they'll go up. I don't know. But I can't see the market sustaining for too much longer as it is right now. It's at exorbitant, crazy levels as it is right now. But anyway, there's so many problems. If you've been here before, I've talked about that. We're not really talking about the new neighbors. Let's be honest. We talk about them in our little areas and everything, but we are not talking about the new neighbors at all. Not enough. Nothing's being done about them. They're flowing over. I've heard all kinds of numbers of different nasty entities like PLA that are infiltrating and using the chaos. We are going into what looks like to be a recession. You've got employment, unemployment has gone up, people are losing their jobs. We spend $1 trillion every few months. Border surges, Texas versus the United States, all kinds of just nasty volatility. And then, of course, you throw into the mix the potential for a global conflict and what's going on in the Middle East and what's going on in the eastern portions of Europe. And then, of course, Asia as well. We're getting ready for chaos, folks. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, when I ask you, are you ready? Are you ready for chaos? Are you ready for, financial collapse? Are you ready for global conflict? Are you ready for lawfare and the time between Trump and Biden, or Biden and who knows, and, lawfare and the Democrats taking months and months and nobody knowing who the president is. And at that time, a bunch of crazy stuff starts to happen. And imagine this scenario, okay? Here's a scenario. Imagine this scenario. The popularity contest happens on Tuesday of November. There's craziness. Nobody knows. They're like, it's going to take a week or two. The lawyers start to come in, and the lawfare starts to unfold. Okay? At that point, Russia and Germany start to go head-to-head in the third installment of global conflict, also known as W to the W to the 3. This is all plausible, okay? I'm not going to put some crazy thumbnail on here, but I'm giving you actual real-world possibilities. I'm not saying it's probable, but it's plausible. Germany and Russia start to go head-to-head. This brings in NATO, and Europe erupts into a regional, larger war. Same thing starts to happen in the Middle East. Iran takes the gloves off, throws down. Israel fights back. At that time, China uses the chaos, and they decide to go in and try to do something in Taiwan. You don't know who's running the country now in America. Sure, you've got Joe and the Democrats, but the lawfare is spreading, and people are wondering who's going to be the next person in 3 months. All of these other entities use this time of chaos in what used to be America as the leader of the world and the one that is, putting together everything and keeping the calm, the Pax Americana. And all of these things start to erupt. As all of that is going on, due to the chaos, there is a financial crush. The markets collapse. And all of these other things start to happen in this confluence, as we used to affectionately say here, of suck. Imagine that. Imagine all of that coming in about a 90-day period. That's the kind of stuff that I hope to God doesn't happen, but I can absolutely see happening. That's the kind of stuff that you want to prepare for. That's the kind of stuff where I ask, are you ready? Are you ready for that? Okay? Because most people are not ready for that. So, as we see all this going on, get ready for it. The November popularity contest is going to get crazy. It's going to start to get crazy right now in the next month over who's going to be taking on Trump. It's going to get crazy with your finances and all that. And then when November comes around, it's going to take off. Friends, please join me on the Crisis Report. I will be going directly. The link is in the description. It is youtube.com/@Crisis Report. If you put in simply the @ symbol, Crisis Report, all one, you'll pop right up. I'm going to go live here in about 2 minutes, okay? I've got the Crisis Report ready. I am ready for you over there. But please, before you go, if you are new here, darken out the bell, hit the subscription bell and all that, and join us for more conversations here where we don't get crazy, we get intellectual, and we talk about things that will actually happen, okay? Please hit the like button. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you think. How are your prices going in your world? Where are you at? You don't got to give me your exact address, but tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods so we can compare and contrast, and anything you can add. There's always great stuff in the comments, but I really appreciate you. Please join me on the crisis report. I'm going to literally exit out of here and get it going, but hit the buttons and stuff. Thank you for being a member. For those in green, like I believe Minuteman 69, $2 a month, less than a coffee, gets you all this and stuff in the background as well. Other links in the description, friends. God bless you all. Stack stock, stick to the plan. Keep your hands full and your powder dry. And we appreciate you coming by. PrepperNow. And we will see you over at the Crisis Report. And we'll definitely see you on the next one here.